Ever feel like your brain turns to mush on the spot during an interview, especially when faced with those dreaded puzzle questions? Don't worry, you're not alone. Companies like Google use these brain teasers for a reason. They test your ability to think on your feet, solve problems creatively, and stay calm under pressure. But that doesn't mean they have to be your kryptonite. In this video, we're tackling one of the most notorious Google interview puzzles head-on. We'll break down the challenge, explore different strategies, and even crack the code on a similar brain teaser. So grab your thinking caps, get ready to flex your mental muscles, and let's ace this puzzle together. So, before we dive into the gears and cogs of this particular brain teaser, let's unravel the mystery behind why companies like Google throw these puzzling curveballs in the first place. It's not just about testing your knowledge of rocket science or ancient Sanskrit unless, of course, that's relevant to the job. These puzzles are all about assessing your problem-solving skills. They want to see how you handle unfamiliar situations, think creatively, and approach a challenge with logic and deduction. In other words, they're looking for future Googlers who can think outside the box, who aren't afraid to get their hands dirty with a mental puzzle, and who can deduce the answer even when the instructions are a bit cryptic. Alright, time to get our brains in here. Let's break down this Google brain teaser into bite-sized pieces so we can conquer it together. There are 25 horses. How many races do you need to find the top 3 fastest horses? You can race 5 horses together, but you don't have a watch. This is a tricky question asked at places like Google during interviews. But to make it clearer, let's look at a version that gives more details to solve this puzzle. Imagine there are 25 horses and a racetrack. Each horse runs at its own speed, but you don't know how fast each one is. You can race only 5 horses together at once. After each race, you get a list showing which horses finished first, second, and so on, but not how fast they are. How few races do you need to find the 3 fastest horses? This puzzle is asked in job interviews like at Google. Can you solve it? Pause the video and give it a try. When you're ready, continue watching for the answer. You can uncover the 3 fastest horses in at least 7 races. First, I'll explain the steps, and then I'll delve into the detailed solution to help you grasp why it's effective. So here are the steps that we'll follow to solve the problem. Number 1. Divide the 25 horses into 5 groups of 5 and race them separately. Number 2. Identify the fastest horse from each group and race the winners against each other to determine the overall fastest horse. To find the second and third fastest horses, number 3, label the groups A, B, C, D, and E based on the initial winner's race. Number 4, in the final race, pit A2, A3, B1, B2, and C1 against each other. Number 5, the first and second place finishers in this race become the second and third fastest overall. Now, let's walk through this process step by step and understand why it's the right approach. Again, we need to begin by splitting the 25 horses into groups of 5. Within each group, we'll set up a race with 5 horses. I'll arrange them visually so that the slowest horse is on the left and the fastest on the right. If needed, I'll rearrange them to maintain this order for all the groups and their horses. Next, we'll gather the winners from each group and race them against each other. These winners are the horses positioned on the far right-hand side of each group. The winner of this race, known as the winner of winners, becomes the overall fastest horse. I'll visually represent this, placing the slowest winner at the bottom and the fastest winner at the top. If needed, I'll adjust the groups to illustrate this accurately. Now, we've found the fastest among the winners, making it the fastest horse overall. It has outpaced every other horse within its group and even defeated the quickest horse in each of the other groups. This confirms it as the overall fastest horse we're looking for. To find the second and the third fastest horses, we'll label the groups from the fastest A to the slowest E. How do we pinpoint these horses? It's a process of elimination that helps us identify the runners-up. We remove any horses that's slower than at least 3 others since it can't be among the second or third fastest. So initially, we eliminated all horses in Group E. Every horse in this group will be slower than the fastest horses in Groups A, B, and C. This confirms none of the horses in Group E can be the second or third fastest overall. Similarly, we exclude all horses in Group D as they're slower than A1, B1, and C1. This reasoning extends to Group C, except for the fastest horse, as the others will be slower than A1, B1, and C1. In Group B, only the top 2 horses, B1 and B2, remain as they're faster than the rest in their group but slower than A1 and B1. Therefore, horses placed 3rd, 4th, and 5th in Group B are excluded. From Group A, the horses ranked 5th and 4th are slower than the top 3 in their group, so they're eliminated. This leaves us with 6 horses. Since we've already found the fastest horse overall, A1, we don't need to race it again. Hence, we can remove A1 from the race lineup as we won't gain more information by racing it again. Now, we're left with A2, A3, B1, B2, and C1, and we're uncertain of their relative speeds. To determine the final rankings, we'll have one more race with these 5 horses. The winner of this race secures the second fastest spot, while the runner-up becomes the third fastest overall. This totals 7 races, which successfully identifies the 3 fastest horses. A quick note, the 7-race method proves to be sufficient, and here's why it's the most efficient way. Initially, we race each of the 25 horses once, requiring at least 5 races with groups of 5 horses. Then an additional race is needed to compare the winners. After that, we'll compare at least the second fastest from Group A with the fastest horse in Group B, among other comparisons to find the second fastest horse. This method efficiently identifies the 3 fastest horses. It involves racing each horse once, comparing the winners, and then strategically eliminating slower horses in subsequent races. Did you follow this reasoning? So there you have it, a detailed exploration of this brain-twisting puzzle and the clever strategy to uncover the 3 fastest horses. Remember, the key takeaways are: think strategically, break down the challenge into smaller steps, explore different approaches, and prioritize logic and deduction. Embrace the unknown. Don't be afraid to tackle unfamiliar situations and think creatively. Sometimes the best solutions come from outside the box. Celebrate the journey. Enjoy the process of learning and growing. Even when faced with a daunting puzzle, every step you take towards the solution is a victory in itself. These puzzles might seem intimidating, but they're an opportunity to showcase your unique problem-solving approach. Practice, analyze, and embrace these challenges. Who knows, you might just impress your future employer with your quick thinking and logical prowess. So, the next time you face a puzzling question in an interview, don't panic. Take a deep breath, channel your inner detective, and remember the skills you honed here. Keep those mental gears turning, keep practicing, and you'll soon be acing even the trickiest interview puzzles and impress any interviewer. Thanks for joining us on this brain-teasing journey. If you enjoyed solving this puzzle with us, hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe for more mind-bending challenges and career advice. Until next time, keep those problem-solving skills sharp and happy puzzling!